Welcome to Circle of Hearts Radio. Journey with Grandmother Allayah as she enters her magical world of relics, sacred sites, and ancient crystal skulls. Meet with exciting trailblazer authors and individuals shifting the consciousness of humanity. Send her your questions to be answered on air on her monthly segment, Ask the Oracle. And now your host, Grandmother Allayah, in the sanctuary on the airwaves on OMTimes Radio.
Radio, and if my voice cracks, I have a cold. Welcome to my sanctuary. I am Allayah, and today I really have again another pleasure of bringing forth one of my friends. I know you hear me say I introduce many people as my friends, but over the 15 years I've been on the internet after my near-death experience and spiritual awakening. Spirit has brought many interesting people for me to meet. And this has all happened before it all came together that I even became on radio. So I see the radio as a way of introducing you or getting for you to get to know people more personally. There's a lot of written material, but to hear a person's voice, to feel their energy, now we get to really know the person, the one-to-one, the being that they are. And I love helping making these connections. Today I want to reintroduce you to Marlene Swetlishoff. And like I said, I got a cold, so everybody bear with me on this one. Hi Marlene, you there with me?
Yes. Hi, Allayah. Thank you for having me again.
I love having you. You know, we're buddies.
Yes, we are.
We go through the same things and stuff. And when I was talking to Marlene the other day, and I want you to get to know her as a person because she has this wonderful website. She's known for her channels for Hilarion. She has a new book out, The Hilarion Connection, and we'll get into that more later. But she feels like people aren't noticing her. So I said, we got to get her on so people can really get to know you and hear your voice and know you're just a regular guy like the rest of us. So just as a little bit of background, Marlene, just give a little background of yourself, then we'll get into some other things, okay? Whatever you want to share.
Okay, well, I've been a follower of the mystic path since I was probably 18, 19 years old, and that was many years ago. And it's been an interesting journey. As when you join a mystery school, as I did when I joined Astara.org many years ago in 1968, at that time you don't realize what it really means being on that path, having ascended masters direct your life. It requires a lot of initiation, and those are usually not that pleasant.
Yeah,
it's a learning experience.
So for like a precursor to what you're going through now.
Yes, it is. It has actually prepared me for these times, and I value what happened, but there's still a little bit of emotional fallout every once in a while, like everybody else, I think, is going through.
That's true. I mean, the mystery schools, I had joined Lucius Trust when I was in my 20s. And it was like one of those things I did because I was experiencing very weird things. and I wanted answers. My brother was in Lucius Trust, and it's an arcane or mystery school. It's a path of service, and it helped direct me also. But the whole life is just, even after you get out of the mystery schools, what Marlene is saying, you're still in this purification process.
Yes, yeah, it's an ongoing thing. And we never learn everything. And the more I learn, I'm sure we've talked about this before, it's like the more you learn, the more you realize how much you still have to learn.
Oh, that's for
And
sure.
it keeps you very humble.
So that was the introduction. When did you really start to sit down and channel? Like, people know you for Hilarion, but actually you have a background of a lot more than that.
Well, before I started working with Hilarion, I started channeling because of events in my life. I've had rheumatoid arthritis since I was 25 years old, and so I kept going in my life. I had 3 daughters to raise, and so I didn't want to give up, of course, so I kept going and pushing my physical body. And finally, around 2006, I think, 2007, it kind of gave up. I needed a rest.
Mm.
So as I sat around home, hardly able to walk because my knees were in really bad shape and painful, consequently, I went through 2 total knee replacements, and it took a long time to, slowly recover from that, which I'm glad to say, life is so much more better now, less pain-free.
Mm-hmm.
But during that time, I finally had time to get back to, the mystery school teachings and the Ascended Masters that I followed and worked with. And so I started channeling maybe 50 different Ascended Masters from 2008 till about 2009, and had a Master Dowser friend of mine make sure that everything that was coming through every time, I think I was channeling a message every day
Oh, wow.
at that time. And so I had my friend, who I mention in my book in the acknowledgments, that she spent every day for a full year dowsing to make sure that what was coming through was of the highest light. So I really appreciate her for that. She's just beyond price, a pearl beyond price.
Mm.
And so then I had a reading done by a channel who told me that Hilarion was hanging around me. That's the way he termed it. So I thought, well, okay, and do you want to work together? And I invited him to give a message to the light workers of the world once a week, and he agreed, and so here we are now.
Yeah, that was quite. I mean, first of all, it's a wonderful soul contract you have with your friend, that she has
Yes.
such devotion, to the work, that you two just could do this every day, because not many people would do that.
Yeah, she's very dedicated. She works with the earth energies,
Mm-hmm.
and she does her dowsing from probably 8 o'clock in the morning till at least lunchtime, from what I remember her saying. So she works with the clearing energies and the ring of fire energies and whatever energies need to be cleared. It's kind of like Russell Bolding. She
Yeah,
does the same type of work.
yeah, I'm learning more and more about dowsers. Charlie Riverman is uh, got
Oh, does,
focused into dowsing, and he's bringing more about dowsing. into my
Yes,
life.
you can take it to such a high level. Um, like my friend Isabel has been in it for about 18 years now.
Yeah,
And she's taken it beyond belief, the level, like now, you can make yourself really high frequency.
yeah.
And
Well,
she's made herself so high frequency that life has become difficult in terms of she lives in Vancouver, BC, right in the heart of the city,
oh,
which and
gee.
there's a lot of all these electromagnetic energies, and so it's very difficult for her. When I speak to her, I have to turn off my computer and be on a landline
Oh,
because it
really?
affects her. Yeah. So that's something people should realize is, you could raise your frequency level to the highest it could go, but you still are in a human body. So it's very important to balance because, then you pay a price.
That's true. Everybody, we're heading toward break already, but real
Oh, okay.
quickly, they have, um, I noticed there's many light workers or, many people awakening to their purpose. And a lot of the soul contracts have been either sickness or something to stop you in your daily life, to give
Yes.
you the time that, okay, well otherwise you're not going to stop and return to the spiritual or even explore it. And that's what happened to me, and that's what happened to you. It's just they said, okay, you're not listening. we're gonna do we're gonna do this for you. But this seems to be a pattern, not so much now that I'm seeing, because people during this age, I think, are becoming more aware. All right, we're gonna talk a little bit more about Hilarion. I can never say the name for Pete's sakes.
Well, yeah, I pronounce it Hilarion, but
Hilarion. Okay, I'm gonna do
yes.
that. We're gonna talk about Hilarion.
Okay.
Okay, when we come back.
All right.
Your conscious lifestyle on steroids. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill, while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
Matt Connerton here. Join Jen Coffey and I twice a week for Matt Connerton Unleashed, a political talk show that's a little different than what you're used to. No liberal or conservative agenda here, just an honest dialogue about truth and how things really work in the world of politics. Matt Connerton Unleashed, every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio.
Hi, this is Angela Levesque, host of Entanglement Radio. Join me Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern for inspiring conversations with visionaries in spiritual science and conscious healing. Entanglement Radio, Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern. Transcendent talk for the conscious mind.
Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network. A conscious lifestyle for a mindful life. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Well, we're back with Marlene. And what I'm curious about, I've read different channelers that have brought through transmissions through Hilarion, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody has their own energy. But not, and this is not because you're my friend, honestly. You have a sweet clear energy.
Well, thank you.
Because all the material is different. You know, it seems like some of the channels has taken on some of the personality of the others. So, you know, I think that's part of the reason. I mean, yours is very uplifting, and it's not because you're my friend. I'm being very honest here. And I think that's what draws people. But, you know, the part of the thing of bringing you on the radio, I think people, when they see the Rainbow Scribe and they see what you bring through, I think they've, in a way, elevated you, where they say, you know, we can't approach her. You know, she's this major wisdom keeper that brings through, you know, this pure energy. And I'm like, no, I want people to know Marlene is very human, and we laugh a lot, and we talk about, you know, walking into things and everything else with the energy.
Falling flat on our faces.
Yeah. So I want you to see this aspect. So, you know, I had to bring that in because she's very approachable.
Yes, I
You
am.
know, and you know, if you feel drawn to her work, or you'd like to leave, you know, a nice comment,
Very
please,
appreciated.
yeah, please do, because otherwise, sometimes she doesn't realize if anybody's out there listening. I mean, we all share, you know, her weekly channels, but it really is nice to when you start to get a little feedback and somebody says, "Wow, you know, I felt this."
Mm-hmm.
It makes you feel like, okay, you know, it's reaching people.
Yes, it's like, am I just a voice crying in the wilderness?
Yeah. But, you know,
Does anybody hear me?
That's true. This is the point I'm bringing up because it's people, like I said, I see it on Facebook. You know, you come out on Sunday and everybody, you know, sharing. But poor Marlene doesn't know what's going on here. So I ask, when you do share something, just, you know, if you can, let her know that somebody else exists in this world of hers.
Yes, it would be very appreciated to know that there are human people who actually read these messages.
Yeah, because, you know, it is part of her life soul path. And, you know, sometimes we forget, you know, in our busy worlds, or even myself, you know, I'll see something and, oh, I got to share it. And I'll forget to respond to it. So I'm just as guilty.
Yes, it's our life right now. It's so filled with so many diverse energies and focuses that it's understandable. Definitely.
It's true, but I think I wanted to make the point so that we think like, oh, okay, you know, maybe I should, because I have to remind myself. So I'm just as bad as everybody else. But that's why I'm saying, you know, and I'm admitting it here. So that's why I want to say, you know, say it publicly. Now, Hilarion, you know, today's going to be one of those days I'm not going to get it right. But anyway, what about for those who aren't familiar with him, a little bit about his history? He was a healer, etc., etc. I mean, you would know more.
Oh, yes. Well, when I started, after a few years of working with him and bringing through his messages, I started to get a sense that, you know, others say he was an incarnation of St. Paul and other beings. But for me, I just knew that our connection came during the times of Atlantis. I don't know why, but that's where it came from. So in 2014, I contracted Edwin Courtney from the UK to do a trance channel for me, and he brought through Hilarion, and that's what came forth, is that he was an Ascended Master during the times of Atlantis. He was a high priest in the temple of, it was called the Topaz Temple, the Temple of Healing. And he was the coordinator and facilitator with the responsibility of, developing that, the knowledge that was attributed to this temple, which had to do with healing. As he said, at that time, healing was his all. So this is where I became more aware that, I don't really know, I don't really know this master. But the more I learned, the more respect and awe that I have for him. He has so much knowledge. He's the keeper of the secrets of Atlantis. And I am so excited about that.
Yeah, because
it's like, come on, bring it on.
Yeah, really, all we hear, I know just from the little bit, my thoughts are that Atlantis was sort of dual. It was, sort of a golden age that went wrong.
Well, I think they had 2 golden ages during that time, but there was 5 different epochs over like hundreds of thousands of years. I'm not sure of the exact time period, but it rose up, then it fell a little bit, then it rose up again during these times, and so we all assume the Atlanteans were highly developed spiritually, but what I'm finding in reading some information now is that, they were basically like we are, more advanced technologically. But spiritually, they still had a lot to learn.
Yeah, that's interesting,
Yeah. They were, some were the high priests, of course, and the high priestesses. But, the normal, everyday Atlantean people, were subject to the same temptations of earthly living as we are now. Of course, when they first started out, they were fifth-dimensional beings, I feel. They, before what they call the fall of Atlantis, humanity was at a different level, a different dimensional level. And that's where we're heading back to now, to, the fifth dimensional level. So,
do you think they were raising up, they were not falling back?
Raising up? Sorry?
Yeah. I said, do you feel they were raising up to the fifth dimension?
Yes. I think they were. The fall is what brought us all down. The entire Earth and everybody on it was brought down into a denser reality, which is 3D, right? And so now we're moving from 3D through 4D and into 5D, and we're doing it at a very accelerated level, which is very difficult for everybody.
I was going to say, listening to you talk, it almost reminds me of what our incarnation now is like. There are times, like in the 60s, we're raising up, then we fall back into, this denser area, and then we're going back and forth. And it's a little bit upsetting because, if you're looking at the history of Atlantis as you're sharing of what's brought through you, they went through this.
Oh, yes.
So it's like, all right, well, let's get our acts together here.
Well, yes, it's about time we, pulled up our socks collectively and, moved on into the higher dimensions. Being in a physical body is an exciting experience from the soul point of view. People put up their hands like we did and volunteered to be here at this time. But it's also very difficult. It's, a learning experience, but while you're going through it, it's not that pleasant usually.
I was
depending on your viewpoint, right?
Yeah, I haven't run into anybody that says, "Wow, isn't this fun?" I really haven't. There, her Marlene's book, The Hilarion Connection.
Hmm.
Hilarion. I'm just gonna have to say it that way. That's the way my
Okay,
mouth
that's
is.
fine.
That's the way my mouth is working today. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
The I had got it on Kindle, and then Marlene has sent me a book, and I use it as one of. There's only a few books that I have. Is I call them my panic books. At 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm awake here. All kinds of things going on in my mind, and I get my iPad out, and I'll get this, Marlene's book out, and I'll pick a page, and usually that page has an answer for me. So today I had gone and before we started the show, I pulled out the book and I said, "What should I bring out?" So if you don't mind, I want to read a little bit here.
Oh,
Okay?
okay, sure.
Chapter 1. The transmission begins. These messages to you, dear ones, are brought with great love from the higher dimension of light. I'm very happy to be able to come to you in this way, for we are the family of light and have much to impart to those who have the ears to hear and the eyes to see. Many people on the planet are beginning or will soon be awakening. This requires for those who have already awakened greater understanding, empathy, and compassion. For sometimes the awakenings will bring up much that has been hidden beneath the surface of each person. If you see these tendencies, now you have this list, and I'm going to try to get the list out before we go on break again.
Okay.
Unreasonable anger, impatience, depression, confusion, questioning, fear, projections, great tiredness, low energy, and weakening. Here we are, world. There's this is where we're at. Okay, we'll continue on after this
Okay.
next break.
The cutting edge of conscious radio, OMTimes Radio, IOM FM. Are you trying to get from point A to point B and need a little advice? Connect with the counselors at OMTimes Advisors. Whether you're looking for a life coach or a spiritual intuitive, the advisors participating at advisors.omtimes.com were carefully chosen based on their gifts, skills, and professionalism. OMTimes Advisors, connecting you with the best advisors in the business.
The name is Bond. James Bond.
No, the name is Joe. The Joe Show. And we are returning back for our 9th season here on OMTimes Radio. So tune in every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, on OMTimes.com/mobile. You can take us wherever you go. Yeah!
Circle of Hearts Radio is a sanctuary on the airwaves. Join me, Grandmother Allayah, in the circle on Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern as I share information to both enlighten and nourish your soul.
Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community. Feed your soul with waves of consciousness on OMTimes Radio.
We're back again, and I just want to get out a little bit more of this chapter because this is, in my guidance, I don't know whether he was prodding me or what. He goes, introduce this because it really is so true. All the tendencies in people, we're seeing violence, unreasonable anger, road rage, impatience, depression, confusion, questioning, fear, great tiredness, low energy, and weeping for no reason. I think everybody can find one of those in them. And continues to say, remember, dear ones, this is the path that you have already walked. It's important not to match the energy, rather radiate peace, calm, and loving kindness. Great patience is required and utmost respect towards your sister or brother. One must stay detached as not to enter the emotions that are being expressed at every moment. This is why we've been working with you beyond sleep to help you clear all that no longer serves you in your path in order to assist your loved ones and those you have frequent contact with. This is why I think this book is so important. Like I said, I told Marlene in the beginning, and I wrote a thing on Amazon for her. This is my go-to book
Well,
because
that's wonderful.
this is Allayah's panic book.
A lot of people have said that. It's when you're in a state where you're affected by the energies that from the people that surround you, or from collective consciousness, or even your own issues that come up. It's you open a page of the book and there it is. The answer.
It's true.
It puts you back, grounded, and puts you back on track. And that's the whole reason why I am following his request to put these books out there, because, there's a lot of people who don't know about Hilarion and the timely advice and guidance that he has given to people that were aware of him. But there's unawakened millions out there that would love to have this information to help them.
And it's true. It's presented in a way that touches your heart.
Yes.
It's not something, I've read a lot of material and a lot of channels and a lot of esoteric, books that you feel like, oh, this is really good. I understand it, but it doesn't pertain to me. When you start in the first chapter, just, as he began with the list of unreasonable anger, how many times in the world we see people blowing up and we don't know why?
Well, yes, I've gone through that myself.
So have I.
I am in a human body, and, some of my experiences have brought that out in me. So, yes, it's all about learning how to use your energies constructively. In order to become a master of self, you have to learn to, have balanced energies.
And I don't think...
Because the more powerful we become, we could actually harm somebody just by our thoughts, our
that's
feelings,
scary.
or our voice, even our words. So it's very important. It's like a great responsibility that we have, is to always be balanced. He stresses that all the time. Balance, grounding. We have to do that. Drink our water every day. Those are all so basic, but they're so important.
It is true, because I think people think what I have fun bringing out on the radio shows is information that is people can relate to and approach to, because many times people say, what's my purpose in this world? I don't have any grandiose purpose. I'm not a channel, I'm not a healer, I'm not all these labels. And it's really not true. Everybody has a very important purpose, because it's your energy that's in this world that's changing the world. So if you can understand about energy and how to modify it and work with others and keeping calm, that's a real biggie.
Yes, he stresses that often. It's very important to stay calm, especially when the world around you looks like it's going crazy right now.
Yeah, it is.
It's so important.
And it's hard to keep calm. I I always say I look at Facebook so much just kind of get judge what's going on. And people are either depressed or else they're super angry or all these emotions are flying around. And, the really nice people are bullying other people just because collectively the energy around them they can't handle. So when you get a book, and I'm really serious about this, this is sort of like a book for your energy toolkit. Then when you're looking for answers that maybe you're so emotionally wound up you can't see in front of your nose, which I seem to be a lot of the time lately, you have something to refer to. And you have the ability to discern, okay, well, that's information's for me or it's not. But at least it's out there. It's available for you to
Yes.
see, which I think is really important. That's why I keep on stressing it. Because the other page that they showed me, to bring up before while we have a little time is on page 220. This is a time of wondrous happenings and it all begins within you. And I'm like, okay, this is, a good part to that. What I'm saying that the importance of a soul path or what you do in life all begins within you. And the information is really within you. But sometimes we need to see other information in front of our noses to trigger that inner knowledge.
Mm-hmm. And as light workers, we have a foot in each dimension. That's the way I see it. It's we don't want to give up on 3D, 4D world that we're going through right now, but we're also trying to, we're the bridge. We're the bridge between heaven and earth, and so it's a difficult role for us.
And that the idea of the bridge is something Marlene and I were talking about the other day. I kept on saying, well, that bridge, it's going brick by brick. And Marlene says, well, we're the mortar. I said, well, I think we got a few stones that haven't been crushed in there.
Yeah, I think that was when I mentioned on April 8th during the night I was having one of those sleepless nights, and finally I fell asleep about 4 a.m. in the morning. And then as I awakened a little bit, I heard the words, crossing the bridge to the new world, which was just after April 7th. Wasn't that a big alignment day? Yeah.
April 7th, I think, was the new moon.
Yes. And so those are the words that came to me, crossing the bridge to the new world. So that's the role we play, those of us who are awakened. We're called light workers in today's world. and that's our role.
And the thing with light workers, actually, when we chose to incarnate, we're not better than anybody else. We're not better than other cultures or where people are on the path. We just chose to become aware faster.
Yes.
And it's a choice of service. It's a choice of, when they say light workers, it's bringing light to the world, of shining the light on the path to others. And you always turn around, you always shine that light so other people can find the information.
Yes, that's really important. Those of us who have taken on these roles is that whatever we go through and whatever we learn, it's incumbent upon each of us to share that with others. We can't just hoard it to ourselves.
Yeah, because that doesn't work. Because they go, okay, I didn't learn that lesson, so I guess I'll be coming back again, trying it over again.
Well, I have those moments where I feel like, oh my gosh, I keep trying and trying and trying and nothing works, and why am I doing it? I mean, we all go through those periods of doubt. And when you're inundated, I'm discovering, if you're an empath, when you're inundated by other energies, the collective energies, or somebody had a bad day and you happen to be near them in the shopping mall, and you pick that up. So it's an interesting time to be
or
living.
even if you watch TV.
Yes.
And you have all that. I find myself, I don't really purposely watch TV. Sometimes, it comes on and, I'll have to listen to it. And either I'm feeling the violence or else I'll put on something sad and then I'm crying. And then my husband's looking at me like, what is the matter with you? He goes, what's bothering you? I don't know.
Yeah. When you're a light worker, you pick up a lot of these energies that are not really yours. And so Hilarion brings that out in probably books 1, 2, and 3. He always mentions it. We're processing other people's negativity. That's part of, we just do that automatically. But that makes our path in life that much more challenging and difficult. So he also says then, be good to yourself. Go sit out in the sun, put your feet on the earth, like in today's weekly message. He told me that was really a message for me to take note of. So I read it and I thought, well, okay, yes, I see your point. Got to take some time off from the task, which I tend to be, always the nose to the grindstone.
Well, we'll continue. Yeah, we'll be back shortly.
The best of the holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. OMTimes Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Do you want to be a better communicator? Do you want to better connect with the important people in your life? Do you want to enrich your relationships? If so, join me, Matthew Cooper, on the Positive Control System Show every Wednesday evening at 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on OMTimes Radio. I'll meet you there.
Hi, this is Sylvia Henderson, intuitive life coach and energy healer. Are you ready to elevate and rise way above your normal? Be sure to listen to my show, Intuitive Transformations, on OMTimes Radio, Sunday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern. Get the inspiration you need to transform your life.
Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network. Connecting you with the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
I've been saying on other shows, the show's growing, and I have a radio page on Facebook called Circle of Hearts Radio, and a newsletter. that I'm developing. I also had a promotion for people to sign up on my newsletter that I would offer as a gift back one question free email reading. So, this morning I got out my pendulum, I got all the list of contacts, and the person that it pointed to was Francois Schwab. Now, I don't know if Francois is listening, but I will put it again on my newsletter and, contact me, because you got a question, willing to answer for you. So that was my little 2 more seconds.
Well, that's wonderful, and congratulations to the winner, because you're in for a treat. Allayah is what I call a wise woman. So what comes through her is amazing information.
I thank you for that, Marlene. Now, you mentioned books. I want to get this in the last segment because, like I said, these shows go quick. There's more books coming?
Yes, I'm almost completed the Hilarion Connection book 2, and that should be published on Amazon.com within the next 2 to 3 weeks. It has to go through final proofreading by my dear husband. He's my proofreader.
Well, that's good.
And I asked Ron Head to do the foreword, so I will have to send that to him so that he could, have the time to do that, and then it'll be up and running, and then it'll be on to the Hilarion Connection Book 3. So I should hopefully be caught up on all the messages that have been given up to date, and that's kind of like my guidance is that's kind of like the foundation of further work that I'll be doing for Hilarion and the Temple of Truth stuff. Because I've been chosen to represent the Temple of Truth. So that's, that means I'm going to have to redesign my website. And because I'm doing these books, I haven't really, I've started to change my website slowly, but it hasn't completely gelled together yet.
Who designed the cover, the picture?
That is Jessica Elaine.
That's a beautiful picture. That's very striking.
I know, and when she offered to do this for me, she gave me a really good price for the 3 book covers. Mm-hmm. And because it was summer and she was in between jobs, so she had the time, and she graciously offered to do that for me. So, yes, I was wondering, we bandied about some ideas, and none of that worked. But what really worked for me is the mystic eyes. I like that. It's like, well, okay, usually what people do, it's either angel wings or, energy surrounding a face as they do it. But this is kind of like me. It kind of represents me as the channel and as the high priestess of the Atlantean times, because I also worked in the Temple of Peace at one of those lifetimes, right?
Right.
So it's kind of, each one is progressive. This one has the eyes. The second one will have half a face with the green and everything. And then the third one will be a more full-on, sort of, like, here I am.
Well, no, I often thought with the book, I mean, yes, that theme, I can honestly say, because when I looked at the eyes, when I saw this picture, I'm thinking, this is her.
Well, I don't have blue eyes. I have brown eyes, and I'm not as pretty. But but anyway, I've got, she did whatever I asked her to, which is put on the symbol of the sun and the moon over water, because Hilarion indicated that those are his symbols. And he also conferred the rod of Asclepius upon me as a healer, so I asked her to put that in the center of the forehead. And then the hummingbirds and the lilies, which the calla lilies are what they decorate the altar in the Temple of Truth with. So I and there's a lot of symbolism in the covers.
Yeah, the covers are beautiful. Like I said, I do, even just reading the book, I always have a feeling that the energy that you bring forth, as you say, you were both in Atlantis, but in order for it to be as clear and perfect, it had to be a closeness or I don't even know how to ask.
Well, he let me know, again through Edwin Courtney, that in every lifetime that he had in Atlantis, and he's the Ascended Master who had the most, this is what he claims. So he said in nearly every lifetime that he experienced in Atlantis, I was there too. Sometimes our connection was great and powerful, and other times it was fleeting and minimal. Like as we go through soul groups or soul connections, to this day, that's how it works, right?
Oh, definitely. Even the color of the topaz, I mean, that's sort of like the bluish green, the waters. Everything is so quite perfect. Like I said, the book is striking. The book is really, really very, very helpful. Like I said, I put the thing on as my panic book.
Well, thank you for that. It's good to know that it is serving the purpose that Hilarion wishes for it to be out there. For that reason, because it is helpful during these times.
And that's true, because like I said, people really need to know information is available for them, that they don't have to struggle. And the thing is, a lot of times, even if the books aren't, let's say they're in the middle somewhere in the world and the books aren't available, even if they have any kind of access to internet, this is part of the whole thing of the radio shows. Listening to people talk, listening to people share, or maybe a friend listens to it and then they share it with somebody else. So, it's a cumulative effect.
Yes. The guidance I'm getting is that this is something that will grow year after year. It's not like you're going to go out there and spread the message a million times. It doesn't work that way with awakening. It's, it happens gradually.
It does, because I think if awakening, we know ourselves, when faced with a lot of different things, all of a sudden you see things, you hear things. If you're not quite prepared, I mean, I know I shut down myself many times during my life. I'd start seeing things on walls and hearing voices. I mean, the whole 9 yards.
Yes.
Oh God,
when these experiences initially happen, you have to try them on for size for a while.
Yeah, it's a very Kundalini effect, which is the energy rising up from the last chakra up to the crown. And it's a clearing effect, because if everybody will realize you're all spiritual beings, you've come in with a whole lifetimes of knowledge around you, and now it's time to clear it out so you can start seeing right again. So it's very interesting. So we only got a few minutes, and I'm going this book, the Hilarion, I'm going to go a lot today. Hilarion Effect Collection. Yes. It's on Amazon.com. Is it on your website too? Or?
Yes, it's on the landing page on therainbowscribe.com. and you just scroll down the page and you'll find the links there.
Okay, and it's also on Amazon, for people that, it's on Kindle.
Yes.
And it's in paperback, so it's there. Like I said, I have both. My Kindle, my iPad's great when I'm awake 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to wake everybody else up. I'm there, with the iPad in front of my nose. Okay, what do I need to know here? But a lot of people wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Seriously.
Well, I do.
I'm not the only nutcase here.
Oh, no, and I just came through a period of several months of sleeping 12 hours straight every day. Every night. I'd go to bed at 9 o'clock and sleep till 9 o'clock the next morning.
Oh, you were one of the lucky ones.
Well, I guess that's how I assimilate and integrate the energies. And then, of course, we must be doing something else on the multidimensional levels too, where we get zoned right out like that, so we could do whatever work we're doing there. I don't know either. I don't know it consciously, right?
I don't know. Like I said,
I wish I had brought back some wisdom about whatever it is we do there, but no.
Well, Marlene, thank you for being so adorable and sharing this work with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
And when you get your other book out, you know who's going to be knocking on your door again.
Anytime, Allayah.
Okay, thanks, Marlene. Okay, everybody join us next week on the Circle of Hearts on the OMTimes Radio. Bless you all. Bye-bye.